Hi, what's good YouTube? Prince here, back in another YouTube video. Today's video is going to be basically about how to punish, how to optimize your punishment, right? And why it's important, right? Now, the reason I want to make this video is because I've been coaching people for quite a while, even before uploading videos to like YouTube showcasing it. And outside of the lack of matchup knowledge experience that players have, that being one of the main reasons why people lose, another reason which is tied to the first reason is not optimizing their punishment, or in a situation where like they do punish but it's very suboptimal, right? And when you're not doing your max damage punishment, you're really leaving a lot of damage on the table, and it could cause you to actually lose matches or lose rounds that were easily winnable. And for like this showcase in the video, we're actually going to use Nina and Brian as an example, right? That's Brian's full crouch down forward 4. That's Brian QCF 2-1. Now the thing about these moves, this being -10, this being -10, this also being -10, this being -11. Now in situations like that, those moves are practically very, like, they're unsafe, but they're not too unsafe. Full crouch down forward 4. You know, this QCF 1-2, QCF 2-1. Full crouch down forward 4, -10, -11. So, you know, small punishes because, you know, they're not that unsafe. And then you start to get into moves like this, right? Launch punishable, right? And also for those that are new to Tekken or new to fighting games in general, let me cover this first. How you do punish in this game is moves have recovery frames and startup frames. So if a move takes 16 frames to recover, you can get a guaranteed punish. And if you don't know what punish is, it's pretty much a guaranteed hit while the opponent is in the middle of the recovery frame animations. So again, if a move is a -16 on block, you can punish them with a move that is 16 startup frames or faster. The smaller the number, the faster the move. The bigger the number, the slower the move. So the bigger the number on recovery frames, the more punishable the move is, right? And for instance, with Brian's this string right here, if they choose to finish it -15, I see so many people that when I try and coach them, they just punish this move with a jab. Now, it technically is a punish, right? This is technically a punish, right? But again, 1-2, 15 frame damage into, like, you know, a full-blown, you know, I'm not going to do the full combo because that's going to make the video longer, but you can get like damn near 90 to 100 damage depending if you want to spend heat or not, versus just doing this jab. You are still punishing an unsafe move, but again, any move that's launch punishable that your character is able to launch, you do want to take advantage and actually launch it. So many people I coach, they lose because they didn't punish a launch punishable move. And for instance, we're going to use another move as an example, right? We're going to do Brian's while standing 1. This is -14 on block. I'm going to recreate a situation I've actually seen in a match that I was actually coaching or replaying. So we're going to do this, right? We're going to take Brian to the wall. While standing 1 doesn't really have much range, but if you do block the move, it is -14 on block. So when I was in the process of coaching somebody, I saw that they were struggling with Brian and they blocked while standing 1. Now this was -14, right? Now referring to what I said earlier in the video, if the move takes 14 frames to recover, you can punish the move with anything that's 14 startup frames or faster, right? And he was in a situation where he blocked this move, and this was his response. He just jabbed it, right? While the opponent was at like 20% health. And he ended up losing the match, right? But he could have won the match. The point is, he could have easily had won the match if he had did the right punish. And for Nina players, this is what the right punish move does look like. And then you can go for Oki, whatever you want to do. But again, the move's -14, so you should be launching take your damage, right? If he had done that in that situation, he would have easily had won the match and prevented any course of like a comeback from happening, right? And that is, you know, aside from, I guess that does tie into lack of matchup experience, but that is a reason why a lot of players do end up losing like a lot of matches, right? And we're going to cover how to actually always do the right punish. Punishment in games like Tekken, or for the most part in any fighting game, it's all based around muscle memory. So what you want to do is you want to go into the training mode with your character, your main character, or your gateway character, whatever you're comfortable with, right? And you actually want to record the moves. And then, once you have the CPU record the moves, you then want to practice reacting, and you want to practice blocking the move, and then doing the optimal punish, right? Keep doing that over and over until your brain naturally builds the muscle memory you need to start punishing the move on instinct, on like reaction, right? Now, instead of thinking about how unsafe the move is, you're just naturally punishing the move based off of muscle memory that you built upon seeing the move, allowing you to react faster and play faster without having to stop and think too much, right? For instance, this string right here, 4-4-2, 4-4-4, I think also. No, 3-3-4 and 3-3-2, right? Both these moves end it differently. One ends in a high that you can't step, and one ends in a mid that you can step to your right, actually. So, but you can also avoid the mix-up entirely by just simply ducking the second hit and launching. Now, it may seem boring at first, but this is actually what a lot of players and a lot of pro players do to actually build up their muscle memory so they are able to punish the moves properly and optimally, right? Now, there are some players where I can simply just tell them, hey, you can duck the second hit, and they'll duck it immediately. Or I can tell them, hey, this move's -14, so when you block it, do your best 14 frame punish or faster, right? And they'll just naturally do it because they have that instinct. Some people learn based off of visual cues or just information that's being told to them, and some people are able to only do stuff if they actually get in there and practiced it. I guess we call those people like kinesthetic learners and stuff like that. So if you're one of those people that struggle to do the optimal punishment sometimes, and you end up just simply jabbing a move that's like -15 or -10, or -12, go in the practice mode and start like reacting, like start having the CPU do the moves, right? For instance, this is a move that people do a lot online with Brian. This is Brian's down 4-2-3. I see a lot of people block this move and they don't punish it, right? So what I would tell somebody, right, even before they want to get coaching, because a lot of the times, a lot of the stuff that people say they need coaching with, they don't really need coaching, they just need labbing. They just need muscle memory, right? They don't, that's why like certain players will only coach certain players once they're at a certain rank, because at that point they've built up certain muscle memories in their cognition to actually do certain things, so the person that's coaching them doesn't have to start over from scratch. Or for instance, with Brian, this was -13. You want to back 1-4 this with Nina. That's the proper punish. So go into practice mode, just have the CPU do this move, and then just keep doing this until your brain just gets it, right? Do this enough times, and then when you're in an actual match, your brain will just automatically, you will just automatically just do the correct punish every time without thinking. It'll become second nature because you've done it so many times through repetitive motions that now those repetitive motions become built-in muscle memory. And then boom, it'll look like this every time. Now, another thing I want to cover, I'm going to switch characters. I'm going to actually switch to Asuka for this one. Another thing I wanted to highlight is the importance of doing the optimal punish and like the rewards that it can give you in certain situations. For instance, Asuka has up forward 2, right? This is what the move looks like. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't hit Brian, right? I just want you guys to see what the move looks like. This is her 14 frame punish, right? Now, a lot of times when I'm coaching people, they tend to ask me, is this move launch punishable? And I say, oh, the move's only -13. And then like, they kind of don't care. There are people like that. If the move's not launch punishable, they don't really care to retain the information. But it's still important in a game like Tekken where every damage counts. Like, you need to take any damage opportunities that you can get, even if it's something small. Because something small can potentially lead to something big later on in the match, because, for instance, like, they do a move that's like -13, right? 2-3, Asuka, but now Asuka has a sick 13 frame punish, right? So before, you'd punish down forward 2-3, and Brian with Asuka's 2-3 for a knockdown, right? Now you have up forward 1-2, 13 frame, it does more damage, leaves you at +13 with them standing, while 2-3 leaves them in a knockdown situation where Asuka doesn't really get much benefit off of that. Unless, obviously, she blocks this move at the wall. But then again, the move, when Brian does this move, he actually pushes your character back forward, right? So it'd actually be better to do this. And boom, now you're able to get a wall splat and a punish, right? But if you would simply just, you know, like, just jab it, you'd whiff. Or if you just did 2-3, you wouldn't actually get the wall splat, because this move propels Brian forward. But if you do the optimal punish, you get the wall splat every time and you get max damage, right? So that's just one situation where doing the correct punish can net you a lot more damage than doing something suboptimal. If I do 2-3, I punish, but I don't get the clean wall splat. If I do up forward 1-2, I get the clean punish, optimal wall combo, right? Now, also at the wall, also in situations like this, on certain stages, if you have good awareness of the stage, which you should, moves like this, Brian's wall standing one, is -14 on block. So Asuka has a 14 frame punish. Now, given in this scenario, in this circumstance where we're standing, this 14 frame punish now becomes a 14 frame launcher technically. And here's why. Boom, we're over a collapsible environment. Now Asuka knocks down, and she gets all that damage. All that off of up forward 2, off of doing the right punish, right? So yeah, very important. Don't neglect the small stuff. Even if a move's only -11, -10, -13, always try and do the best punish you can in that scenario. Sometimes you might sacrifice a punish for a smaller punish just to get more damage. For instance, like characters like Nina, sometimes if I block a move that's 13 frames, that's a low, I'll just do the first hit of wall standing 1 because I want to keep my opponents standing so I can mix them up more. And then other times, if they're at the wall, I'll do wall standing 1, 1+2, and get the wall spot and get the combo, right? Things like that that you can take into consideration. And also, your character's punishment actually changes the matchup slightly. For instance, we're going to switch characters. We're going to switch from Asuka to Eddie, for instance, right? Now, Eddie and Kazu are one of the only few characters in this game that have a 13 frame launcher from full crouch. Now, the reason that's actually kind of a big deal is because Brian has this really good low that you've probably seen online a lot. It's called Hatchet Kick, right? Now, characters like Eddie can actually launch this. Whoops. So this actually discourages Brian players from actually wanting to do this move against Eddie and Kazuya players, because they can actually risk getting launched, right? And that's something to take note of. Obviously, Brian players don't have to do hatchet kicks. Brian has a bunch of other good low options that he can use if he's worried about throwing out the hatchet kick and potentially losing the game or losing a lot of health off of it. And we're also going to go over one other example, right? In this case, we're going to use Alyssa, and we're going to use Jack 8, right? And then I'm going to end the video after this, right? Now, Jack 8 has a lot of good range, which is why they tend to make a lot of his moves a bit more unsafe than the rest of the cast. Like, for instance, his down forward 2, most down forward 2s that are unsafe are only -12 to -13. Jack's down forward 2 is actually -14 on block, right? So I can punish it with a move with 14 frame startups or faster, right? But not just that, he also has back 1+2. This move has good startup frames, comes out pretty fast for a move with a lot of range, but it's -19 on block. Now, depending on who's Jack's facing, determines how often he's going to want to use this move, because some characters get an okay punish, and some characters get a beefier punish. Alyssa gets up forward 2 no matter where she is on screen, right? And if she's in heat, whoops, if she's in heat, her up forward 2 becomes a launcher, right? Pretty good stuff, right? But she needs to be in heat in order to launch that. But then you got characters like, you know, my favorite, Nina Williams, who can launch back 1+2 by Jack anytime she wants, from any range, even if it's blocked at close-up distance, or if it's blocked at the very tip, from like right around here. Whoops, right around here. Wait. She can still launch it, right? She can launch it from up close with down back 3+4. She can launch it far away with down back 3+4. It doesn't matter, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the end of the video. That's pretty much all I want to showcase people. If anybody's interested in coaching or anything like that, I do free replay coaching. All you gotta do is drop your Tekken username or your Tekken ID in the comments section below, and I'll actually coach you for free. I don't charge people any money for this type of stuff. And if you guys are more interested in seeing like other guides, like later on the channel I will be uploading a how to beat / how to punish Lily video if anybody's interested in that, along with bears and various other characters, until I've pretty much done the entire roster of Tekken. So if you guys are interested in that type of content or guides or anything like leveling up or getting better at the game, consider maybe subscribing to my channel, liking, commenting, whatever you guys want to do, right? And if you guys want to get like more in contact, you can join my Discord. And I think it's pretty much easier to reach me on the Discord because, yeah, that's, you know, I'm pretty much always on my phone. But yeah, that's it for the end of the video. And you guys, if you guys are interested in coaching, just drop your Tekken ID or username in the comments section. I also stream on Twitch if you guys want to follow that. Join the Discord if you want to get in touch. And that's pretty much it. Everyone have a good day and take care.